going to be great friends. I already like you more than I can say, and my first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we have known each other for such a comparatively short amount of time. Pray sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolyn, will you not?
If you wish.
Then it's all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this might be a favorable time for my telling you who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You haven't heard of him, I suppose.
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I'm glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that's quite as it should be. The home seems to me the proper sphere for a man. Once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Cecily, Mama, whose views on education were remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. It is part of her system. So do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Not at all, Gwendolyn. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You are here on a short visit, I suppose.
Oh no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some other female relative of advanced years resides here also?
Oh no, I have no mother, nor any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh, how strange. He never mentioned that he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am not sure, however, that the news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I am very fond of you, Cecily. I liked you since the moment I met you. But I am bound to state now, knowing that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I can't help but expressing a wish that you were, well, just a little bit older than you seem to be, and not quite so alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly.
Pray do. I think that whenever one has something unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, I wish you were fully 42 and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest is a man of strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honor. Disloyalty to him would be as impossible as deception. But even men of the most noble character are extremely susceptible to the influence of the physical charms of others. Modern, no less than ancient history, has supplied us with many painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn. Did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, it is not Ernest Worthing that is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest did not mention he had a brother.
Sorry to say they have not been on good terms for a while.
Ah, that accounts for it. Come to think of it, I have never heard of any man make mention of his brother. The subject seems quite distasteful to most men. Cecily, you have lifted a load off my mind. I was beginning to grow almost anxious. You are, however, quite sure that it is not Mr. Earnest Worthing who is your guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I am going to be his.
I beg your pardon.
Dear Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the event next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, there must be some slight error. You see, Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged. Our announcement is to appear in the Morning Post at Saturday at the latest.
I am afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you wish to verify the event, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. I believe one must always have something sensational to read on the train. I am very sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I am afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, Gwendolyn, if this has caused you any mental or physical anguish, but I am bound to point out that since he proposed to you, he has clearly changed his mind.
Any foolish promise the poor fellow may have gotten into, I feel it is my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever misfortunate entanglement he may have gotten into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes no longer a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time to wear the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I am glad to say I never have seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres are very different. Are there any interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh, a great many. From the top of one of the hills quite nearby, you can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that's why you live in town.
Quite a lovely garden you have, Miss Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Oh, flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody manages to exist in the country. That is, if anybody who is anybody does. The country always bores me to death.
Oh, that is what the newspapers call an agricultural depression, is it not? I believe that the aristocracy are suffering very much from it at latest. It is almost an epidemic to them, I've been told. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Thank you. Detestable girl, but I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen in the best of households nowadays. You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar, and though I asked most distinctly for bread and butter, you have given me cake. Now, I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and sweetness of my nature, but you, Miss Cardew, have gone too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of another girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
From the moment I saw you, I disliked you, and felt you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I am trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt, you have many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighborhood.